Hello everybody and welcome back to Middle-earth. This is Count MRVHS with episode 5 of our 4th Age Total War Dwarves campaign. And in the last episode we fought a big battle for Nereg Zagil. The Chiefdom of Rune had attacked us completely expectedly, and we were able to defend our settlement pretty easily, but now we need to worry about the larger strategic problem here. The Dwarven units, if you've ever played the mod, are super strong. They have great defense, great armor, and they typically have a pretty good attack as well. So they're great in melee. The problem is there's not enough of them, right? The population in the settlements are low. They are slow to grow, and so right now, even though I'm swimming in cash, I can't build any more units. So I need to think about how I'm going to combat that strategic disadvantage. I've got a very small army here, and we have a couple of very large armies of Rune nearby. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try something here. We're going to just go ahead and assault. Actually, I'm going to wait for a second, grab some mercs. And then we're going to go ahead and assault this settlement of Rune. There is a noble in there and some Ravanian forester levies. I'm guessing the population here is very small, but you can tell from the map there that this is maybe the only settlement that actually borders us that is owned by the Chiefdom of Rune. So if I can take this and gift it to another faction, then I may not have to worry about the war with them, or at least maybe I can fight it on more favorable terms. So I want to first take this and then see if we can give it to somebody else to sort of serve as our client state in the area, if you will. And I've got some options. I've got some options. We're allied with Dorwinion. Dorwinion is doing pretty well. They have taken some land at the expense of North Rune, and they seem to be holding their own so far in a recent war against Ravanion. So they might be a good option. The option I think I'm going to go with, though, is actually North Rune. Partly this is because North Rune is currently allied with the Chiefdom of Rune. So if they are able to, if they're willing to take this settlement off my hands, then I'm thinking it's going to do, well, it's going to do one of two things. Either the Chiefdom of Rune, my enemy, is going to see that their ally now holds the settlement and is going to just ignore it. That could happen. That would be fine. Another option could be that Rune decides to go ahead and attack North Rune, in which case their alliance is dissolved, and that's also kind of okay with me because I would have the effect of diplomatically isolating one of my enemies from one of their allies. So that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. Now the problem here with that strategy is that this is not this region is not contiguous with any of the other regions owned by North Rune. So, you know, another option is I could gift it to Rovanion. And that actually might not be a bad idea, because I think, I'll have to check the diplomacy again, but I believe Rovanion is also allied with Rune. So that would be kind of good. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe gift it to Rovanion. I always have a soft spot for North Rune, though, because they tend to just get beaten in a lot of campaigns. And it would be kind of nice to see them, you know, build up. But let's see. I'm just checking the defense here. So shield breakers have the better defense. Durin's Guard, of course, has the best, but I don't want to put him in the battle. So I think I'm going to open with my shield breakers. These guys are all missile troops. I could bring archers in, but honestly, it's kind of funny. When you're playing as the Dwarves, you want to preserve your Manish units. Same thing with when you're playing the Elves. You've got those, you know, Manish troops. They're kind of hard to get to. Okay, so it looks like they were not just going to skirmish with us. A bit of lag incoming here. Okay, we shouldn't have any trouble with this. you go. And we just gotta run everybody in to take out those forester levies. I don't think they even got a shot off. It did lose some Durin's Guard, though, as you can tell. That was probably... Yeah, I think that was the javelins that the bodyguard have. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As long as you don't lose the general, that's not the worst thing in the world, because those guys will replenish. Alright. We're just going to fight to the end there. Taking some minor losses here. Now, this is kind of a risk. What do we get there? 8 Durin's Guard, 1 Shield Breaker. Very good. It's kind of a risk not just going back to Nereg Zagil, because of course if I, if those big armies turn around and assault me here, I may be hard put to it to keep it. So we'll see. On the other hand, fighting an assault defense is kind of what the dwarves are made to do. Granted, this doesn't have any actual walls. All right, very low population here, although there is enough to actually, lay desolate. Okay, so one thing I should mention. Expelling the populace. This is the renamed slave or enslave mechanic from Rome Total War and Barbarian Invasion. So we've just kind of renamed it because, slavery doesn't seem like super widespread in Middle-earth as far as we can tell. So expel populace. The idea is you're driving these people away, you're sort of resettling them and so on. It's just sort of a nice guy version of slavery, I guess. But the mechanic is identical. So what this would mean is if I click this button, I would have 403 men that we would be settling in any province. It would be evenly split between provinces that have a governor. Now, the problem there is that we have in the mod a very clear distinction between Mannish population and non-Mannish population, that is Dwarven, Elven, or Hobbit even. So if I do this, what's going to happen is, like a settlement like Moria, like the Dwerodelf, that is very low population, they would get a fraction of this 403 population, but it wouldn't be dwarves. It would be these men that I just got from Nereg Zigil, from Bray Gestalad, right? And so the idea that somehow those men can then be turned into dwarven warriors, right, in Dwerodelf, that doesn't seem quite right. It's not super lore friendly. And if there was any way that we could have sort of made that not work, we would have disabled that essentially. But I think we thought overall it's not going to have too much of an impact. But if you're playing the dwarves and elves, I just recommend not using this enslave or expel button, because it kind of works against the thing we're going for. The goal in representing these factions, the dwarves and the elves, is that they would be very strong in terms of their units on the battlefield, but suffer from low population and very low population growth. So anything that you do that kind of gets around that is something you want to avoid if you want to play the game as intended. So I'm actually going to go with Occupy. I don't think I hate Rune enough to lay Desolate just yet, but I will trash all this stuff. We don't need any of this, and to be honest, even the Trader I don't really want. Okay, so I would be close to being able to hold this if I wanted it, but now I've got to decide who I want to gift it to. Let me just check the diplomacy again. Rune. Okay, so potentially... Okay, so they're not allied with Ravanian. So maybe that might be even better, right? Maybe that would strengthen Ravanian and really help them out in this war. I'm going to give that a shot first. Where is my Dwarven emissary? There he is. And we've got a Ravanian settlement here. Now, this has a potential problem, I guess, because it can strengthen Ravanian at the expense of my ally Dorwinian. But honestly, I'm trading with both of these guys. It doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things. So what I want to give is province. Just want to go ahead and give them Bray Gestalad. And I'm also going to gift them a single payment of cash. And let's say 2,000. And I don't have any anyone in the region, so let's see if they take it. Fantastic. So you can see from the minimap down here that this has now isolated this province from the rest of Rune's chiefdom. So that's always a good thing. It kind of messes with them. Bring my diplomat over here so he's in a more central location, and then I should actually probably train another one. Since we're so low in population there, may as well go ahead and get him out of Nereg Zagil. Okay, so now I'm trespassing, but I'm also hiding in the woods, so maybe they won't see me, right? And maybe they won't want to attack this settlement because they're not technically at war with Ravanian yet. Now, I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they're going to go and attack Nereg Zagil, but we'll see. All right, I'm still making a lot of money. It returned 15,288, so we have the opportunity to do a bit more building. Roads are going to be really good up here. It's not giving me any more income, but it is going to, help with traffic, with the speed that my armies can march. That's always a consideration. All right. Now, we saw in the previous episode that Rohan has gone rogue. They are our allies, but they are at war with the elves now. So that's interesting. They are only nominally at war with Harad. They are at war with the Dunabar, but as soon as they take Lathron, I imagine that war will cease, or at least to all intents and purposes, because they will no longer share a border with them. And I've also isolated them from Dunland, except for this settlement right here. So Rohan is going to be kind of looking for another target pretty soon. Now, they are at war with the elves, so maybe they'll start attacking these elven places. But I have to be wary that they don't sort of turn on me. So just be thinking about that as we go along. Building in Dolbaran, there's Dwarven Workshop. Still haven't quite decided what I want to do with this army here. We are allied with Tharbad, but not to the extent of a military access. And just to point out, that's not just a sort of a role play thing. That is actually really helpful here, because without military access, I couldn't get through this crossing, because the forts and the settlement is just too close to the crossing. With military access, that zone of control goes entirely away. So even though I'm allied with them, I can't just march right around Swanfleet. Well, if I had military access, I could. Then I could go right over the bridge here, no problem. So, maybe I'll work on that. Okay, we're very close to Outland Dominion there, which is good news. I think I'm just going to end the season, keep this army kicking in the area. We're up over 50,000 again. Lune, Duerodelph, and Erebor are all open for building. So I think what's going to happen here is the Dunabar is just going to lose the war on all grounds, and Tharbad's going to be the big winner. The Reunited Kingdom has expanded into Fornos. They've managed to hold their other two settlements, but it's not enough, I don't think. And the Dunabar has been having some trouble with unrest over here for some reason. Tharbad is going to stand to win big in that scenario. And they do sometimes do very well in the north. So they're probably going to be looking around for me for another target, because I do share a border with them, and that's got to be very inviting for the AI. All right, 13,000 this turn. I don't see any reason to wait. Probably just go right for minor province here. Although, actually, you know, we may want to work on things like population, public order. Dwarven craft is going to be good eventually because it's going to help with our experience. It's not giving me any boost right now, so maybe we'll work up population. We will see, though, that public order does become a problem for these managed settlements. They just don't have all the bonuses that the Dwarven homelands do. Okay, what are we doing in Hollowbold again? Right, hosting halls. Dwerodelf, we can do another build. Mustering halls would get us warhammers, bows, and axe throwers, and we could retrain some of those guys, you know, eventually. So that's actually not a bad idea. On the other hand, vaults are super great. Yeah, like almost another 400, and the ability to train scouts too. All right, maybe the war with the elves and Rohan was a fluke, and it will just sort of stop. Like maybe they just get an army too close to their settlements. But you never know. All right, and I was not attacked by Rune, and as I suspected, they're now going to move into the west. I think I'm going to leave my army right here, so as not to present a target to them, and then we'll decide what to do with it. I would like to get this governor back to Nereg Zagil so we can do some more building over here with his bonuses. Right, Erebor was the other place where we had some building completed. The King's Coffers is the obvious next thing to do, I would say. But I don't have quite enough money to build there just yet without going into debt. So I think I'll hold off. We'll just keep raising that money. I did have a spy in Nerexil, or an agent. I'm going to keep him here, partly as a deterrent for bribery, something the AI will sometimes try. And if you don't have a large garrison, you might want to have an agent there because it really drives up the cost of that bribe and makes it something that they usually can't afford. All right, they want me to be their vassal. Well, that's definitely not going to happen. Alright, good. Marriages are always good. Especially for the dwarves. Alright, Hollowbold has finished those hosting halls. They're still looking at 13,000 or so. Alright, I'd like these armies to really go away because I don't have that much movement. Although actually I could get away from the big stack. And I'm less worried about the small one. Let's do that. We'll move back into the area. We did pick up some mercs. We helped secure our border, although technically they could get in here. Although those mountains are not passable. So they would have to be trespassed through Rovanion to get in there. So I'll go up here for now. Our next target is going to be, you know, to make a push further east. The other thing to think about is they do own land up here, so we may have to worry about that. Alright, 72,000, let's see, 46, 47. That's about another 100. Let's do it. And it looks like here Rune and the Reunited Kingdom are just continuing those gains. I'm very impressed that Harondor has managed to hold on to Emin Arnen here. No doubt because the Reunited Kingdom is busy, but Harad is moving into their lands. Be great if they could beat Harad in this game. 6,000. All right. Way stations are pretty good money makers, but the King's Coffers are probably better. Although Dwarven Engineering is nice for the law, as well as the experience bonus. So I think we'll go with the Dwarven Engineering. This guy's still around. We want to go for the big ticket items while we've got the cost reduction going. So all right, Rohan keeps attempting to bribe Dulbaran or something. Okay, we've finished a couple of projects. Roads up in the Iron Hills and the Dwarven Workshop in Dulbaran. So we finished that. Alrighty. You'll notice we've now got a recruitment option. Dwarven Blunderbusses. Let's take a look here. So, this is kind of an Easter egg unit. Apologies to Weba, Eridan, Master of None, for giving the game away here. But several of you, especially if you're in the Discord, already know about this unit, Dwarven Blunderbusses. This is actually from way back in the days of Viking Invasion 2, which is another fantastic mod. I didn't have anything to do with that one, but the same guys who did a ton of the work for this mod designed that one as well, along with Norman Invasion, another kind of classic Rome mod. Viking Invasion 2 had this unit sort of as another Easter egg, but here they thought fit to put them in the world in a kind of believable way almost, right? Because Saruman was certainly experimenting with gunpowder, as we know from the siege of Helm's Deep. He had some kind of blasting fire to get in through the deeping wall. And so we imagined that, if there was any place to fit Dwarven Blunderbusses, it would make sense for it to be near Orthanc. And so that's what the Dwarven Workshop gets you. Let's take a look at this. I have to say, this is a wonderful little unit. I love weird units like this. I'm the kind of person who... I am kind of a purist, I have to say, about gunpowder in my fantasy. I typically don't prefer it, but this is just such a fun, silly thing to have. And so I always go for it. So these are effective against armor. They can frighten the nearby enemy. They got a super short range, but they're a great unit, and I hope we get to see them in action soon. So I will be cranking these guys out for a little while, and we're not going to dominate with our blunderbusses, but we're gonna see what we can do with them. Okay, so let's read the description if you don't mind. Indulge me here. And listen to this description. Yes, I did write this, but I ripped a lot of it off from Tolkien himself, and I'm very proud of it because I grabbed some stuff from Farmer Giles of Ham, which is the only work in Tolkien where a blunderbuss actually appears, and so when I came to write the description for this, I knew I had to go there. So let's see. It says here, people may prefer bows and arrows and use gunpowder mostly for fireworks, but dwarven ingenuity knows few bounds, and the tower of a powerful wizard holds many secrets. After tapping on many walls and riffling through many leaves of hidden notes, the dwarves discovered at Orthanc the plans for a marvelous device never before constructed in Westron called a blunderbuss. Some may well ask what a blunderbuss is. Indeed, this very question, it is said, was put to the 4 wise clerks of Oxenford, and after thought they replied, quote, a blunderbuss is a short gun with a large bore firing many balls or slugs, and capable of doing execution within a limited range without exact aim. Whatever execution it is capable of, the sight of a troop of dwarves armed with this strange weapon is usually enough for their purpose. And so, yeah, this part here, pretty much the beginning of the second paragraph is right out of Farmer Giles of Ham. So we can train some of these guys, and let's go broke doing that. We can also build a local trader for some reason, so I'm not sure what that's gonna do. We don't get anything here. Let's do that. And those take two turns per unit to train, so you can't just spam them forever. And they also come out of the forts, which have a very low population. So again, there's a bit of a constraint there. Well, we're going to get this guy back into Nereg Zagil. We're going to, I guess, retrain these units. I know the population is pretty low for that. But even without his attuned governor trait, he's still going to get us some nice nice discounts here. So let's queue up one more of those. What makes the most sense here? Engineering. Engineering might be good to get rid of that mismanagement, and also, again, for the experience. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we will call this episode to a halt. I feel pretty good about this. We've secured our borders a bit more. We've built up a bit. We crucially have gunpowder now. And so we will see what the next few episodes bring. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day. I'll check you out in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.